Yes,
So
no, I
welcome
agree.
to everybody. And
Oh,
again, apologies for any difficulties in getting on. And now I'm going to hand over. So the format is that Emma will give us an update, and then we'll open up for questions. I'll try and bring people in. Alice and Erin will monitor the chat and alert me if I miss people or don't go to people in a timely manner. But there's lots of people on the screen, so apologies if we don't get to you in a particularly chronological order of when you've put your hand up. We'll get as close to it as we can. So over to you now, Emma. Thank you.
Sure. I'm just sharing my screen. Can everyone see that okay?
Yeah, that's great, Emma. Thank you.
Great. Okay. So in terms of what I'm going to cover off, I thought I'd segment our time into two halves. One just for me to talk through what we've been doing on the campaign side and sort of some any relevant updates, and share some sort of concept designs for our merchandise and on the exhibition train. So a bit of a show and tell for you to keep you up to speed on what we've been doing. But then it would also be great to sort of hear from you about some of the activity you've been getting up to, some of the thoughts you've had, and what the opportunity for us is to include some of those in a forthcoming announcement we'd like to make about the campaign. So that's how I'm going to sort of segment today's session. For any of you that don't know, just starting from the top in terms of what is Railway 200, our ambition is it for it to be a year-long nationwide partnership-led campaign celebrating the birth of the modern railway and looking at the past, present and future of the railway and the stories and activities that we can tell and do to bring that alive, and ultimately inspiring that next generation to want to come and be part of that railway family. That's sort of at the heart of the sort of work that we're trying to do. And really that clear message from the top that everybody is Railway 200. This isn't something that my team are delivering in isolation. That's again one of the reasons why I'm here talking to everyone today, is that everyone has an opportunity to be involved and to use Railway 200 to help promote and further and profile your work, the great work that you do, and a real opportunity to shine a light on that throughout the year. So what have we been up to since we last met? My team, I'm so proud of them. We do such a huge amount of engagement and conversations, and that's sort of just a sort of really sort of just a high level overview of the types of things that we do and the broad range of things that we do. And I've highlighted a few on there that might be relevant. Is that I had a great meeting with Catherine from the Lancashire Commuter Rail Partnership with some of the work that they're doing, which was really interesting to hear more about. I don't know if Catherine's on the call. I don't want to speak on behalf of her, but it was great to hear about some of the things they're doing with younger people. She's a Brownie leader herself, so it's looking at what the opportunities are there, and that huge range of organisations that we have contact with, from town councils through to heritage railways, and particularly what I hope might have been useful is I met with all the Network Rail community rail partnership leads. I met them as a wider group, and I talked to them about Railway 200 and gave them the message that, you know, for them to champion and think about Railway 200, but also to take that back to their community rail partnerships and to support you and to talk to you and to be part of that conversation. So I don't know if that's been fruitful yet, but that's another group of people, another network of people that hopefully are now up to speed with Railway 200 and are there to sort of provide some support and obviously appetite to wanting to get involved. So we're just doing still a huge amount of that sort of partnership recruitment and lots of different conversations with lots of different opportunities. In terms of where we are in moving forward, my marketing comms team's working hard on that partner toolkit, ready for hopefully September time, when we've got our sort of announcement of what next year is warming up to look like. And yes, lots going on. I've used the next few slides to bring some of that live for you. I don't know if any of you have been to Rail Live, but we saw that as a great opportunity to get out and about and read the rail industry and talk to them about being part of it. So we got a bit of presence there in the Network Rail Village, which was good. I took myself to the Big Bang Fair because obviously this is really important to Railway 200, and I really want to get more organisations from the rail industry at Big Bang next year under the umbrella of Railway 200 to really maximise that as an opportunity. It was absolutely rammed with kids. It really was. So if you know you've got one opportunity to reach a huge number of children, yes, I know it's in the Birmingham area and the vicinity is only in so far, although they've had children from Northern Ireland come. So it's a really good opportunity. So I'm starting conversations off with other organisations about how we really make that a good moment in 25. And we're starting to get bits and pieces of coverage through. And as sort of getting that word out that Railway 200 is on its way. In terms of brand update, just a reminder that we've got our updated logo, which is available on our website, also in Welsh, for you to use. I think, just to make sure it changed probably about 3 months ago. So just to make sure that everyone's using the trademarked version and the slightly tweaked tagline there. So that's just a reminder. And we've, again, on our website, we've got our new brand guidelines there, which we've, again, slightly tweaked. There's nothing significant in there other than the introduction of a few more colours, just to give us a little bit more creativity with some of our assets that we're providing as part of the toolkit. So that's on the website. And that just gives you sort of a bit of work in progress of some of the assets that will be coming through the partner toolkit. Again, you can see using those colours just bring it alive a bit more. And the thinking was with the yellow, green and blue was based on a British summer, which we can all be hopeful for. But just to give you a bit of a flavour of some of the assets that will be coming your way and available to use. As ever, I'm always going to be plugging social media. We're now on X as well for us to follow. So that's a good opportunity. And to support that, the team are working on a sort of a short explainer video, a 1 minute long video that Jen just is an introduction to Railway 200 and what it hopes to be and how you can get involved. So that again will be an asset that's available for you to use and to share. And we will obviously make that available when it is, but it's nearly there. Our second newsletter also again went out. So again, a call out if there's any ever content that you would like that you think is valuable to share with the wider Railway 200 campaign and our stakeholders, please let us know. We're always happy to take a look at that and share that within our channels. And again, one of the things that we really need is content, and that's because we're sort of a tactical campaign team. We don't have our own image banks, and that we are borrowing and stealing from the industry to sort of repurpose existing content. So we really minimise the amount that we have to create ourselves, and that I can share these slides afterwards, but that sort of gives some more details on the types of things we're looking for. Obviously, I know that Alice has shared some of the great sort of content you have from a tourist point of view, some sort of beautiful sweeping landscape types images, which is great. But again, anything you've got that is we're happy to credit. Obviously within the content where the images come from, even within videos as well. But we're really looking for anything that you've got along that falls either into the past, present and future. So any kind of celebrations, people, young children enjoying in and around the station or your environment would be great. Yes, sorry, Felicity, you're going to tell me you've got a wonderful image bank for me?
No, I'm just going to check. In our area, I know you're already well connected with Nikki Halifax for the festival, the S&DR 200 festival, but are you already connected in with the Friends of Stockton and Darlington Railway?
Yes.
Because they've got loads and loads of images.
Yeah, we did meet with them. We're sort of chasing them down to send us or share with us or allow us to use what they have. So yeah, right, thanks, okay, Felicity.
That's
we've knocked on their door as well.
Great.
Martin, my website manager, went meticulously through their website with a long list of stuff he wanted from them. So, but
there's
yeah,
lots of stuff that's probably hidden in documents as well that they'd be able to share. Yeah. Particularly their new coffee table book that's being released next year. That's got some beautiful photographs of families and things that lived along the line. Also Northeastern Railway Association, which I can connect you with as well, if you want me to drop you an email to.
That would be
Neil
great.
McKay, he's the chair of the Northeastern Railway Association.
That would be great. Yeah, no, that would be wonderful. So if any of you have anything along those lines, that we have the permission to use, we would be ever so grateful. So just making you aware of that. I know many of you have already, so thank you. But just again, another reminder of our expression of involvement form that we have. If you're not quite ready to submit an event, if you are ready to submit an event, we have the ability to do that via our website. So again, just a sort of call out for that. So that for me is a kind of a bit of a whistle stop through the campaign, what we've been doing today, and a bit of sharing some of the work that we've been doing. And really, for me, the 19th of September is our sort of biggest milestone as we work towards the end of the year. That's a time when we're going to be doing a press release talking about what's going to be happening next year. We're doing that alongside Stockton and Darlington, who are doing announcing details of their festival program as well. So what we love to be able to put in our press release is a wide range of activity and organisations really getting behind this and including that. So that's really, again, a bit of an ask to say, if you've got something that you know that you're going to be doing next year, and you're comfortable with having that put out publicly, we'd be very happy to consider that for our press release to show the wide range of activities and partners involved. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen and really sort of say, this is the moment for anyone, if they want to talk about some of the ideas they might have been having or any questions. I'm happy to try and answer them as best I can. Keith, hello, welcome. Oh, I think you're on mute. I know you've got onto your laptop, which is great.
Yes. I have put something in the chat. There doesn't appear to be any exhibition train activity anywhere in the northwest. Originally, Manchester Piccadilly was scheduled to have the exhibition train, and the East Lancs Railway talked at that time about the train going there. The ELR was told to approach Sharma Smith to express an interest in having the exhibition.
Shana's in my team, yeah.
I think from a railway point, I have two hats on here, as well as chairing Crew Manchester and South East Manchester CRP. I'm the director of the East Lancs Railway, dealing with Rail 200. I think with the heritage railways, we can't just say, yes, you can have it on such and such. Railways have their own events, and it is gearing into those events that I think is quite important. But I don't understand why the whole northwest of England seems to be excluded. Now, already, preparations which we are involved in are happening for Rocket 200 2030 in conjunction with the Science Museum Group. And we are planning that. I was specifically asked by Peter Hendy to cool off on Rocket 200 until Rail 200 was further planned, which we have done. But we get some pressures that they really want to do a launch with the LR this autumn on Rocket 200, which I appreciate is much later. So there's a little bit of confusion, I think, about involvement. Originally, there was a view that there would be grants available to groups to support this, something rather like the King's Coronation Grant. That appears to have completely gone through the Rocket 200 delivery group meetings. It was raised at the July meeting. There appears to be something involving Heritage Railways of a whistle blast on New Year. What isn't very clear is when that is, because some railways are saying it's at midday and other railways are saying it's at midnight. So I just feel that there's a little bit of confusion. I don't want to be critical, but I think that, you know, we're now getting not too far off, and forward planning needs to, you know, be seriously taken now if there's going to be that involvement.
Okay, that's fine. Just taking notes of a few of those things. First of all, there are no plans for the train not to try and go to as many places in England, Wales and Scotland as possible. We're trying to map that all out at the moment, working with Network Rail, Routes and Regions to plan what that looks like. No decisions have been made either way. We just simply are gathering what a skeleton plan could look like. If you have a bid, send it to me. I will channel that through to Network Rail, Routes and Regions as we collect a picture of bids, but also suitable locations that can safely have the train. Is there a long enough platform? Is it accessible? Can it stay there for how long? All the requirements to have the train there safely. So no decision has been made on anything really at the moment. We are all still working through that.
We have submitted a bid
Okay.
to Sharma Smith. That bid has already gone in, and it's a question of gearing it into. It's no good saying that we do something round about November, December, because Heritage Railways are completely occupied with Santa trains or Polar Expresses or whatever. It's not a period that Heritage Railways can take that up. And I think at ELR we're very keen to work with both Metrorail, Lancashire, and also of course my own CRP as well. There are events planned. We've spoken already with Northern. We're doing a major event with Northern for the unveiling of the Lancashire and Yorkshire Railway Memorial, which is at Newton Heath Depot, to actually come to the LR. That's a major event between us and Northern for L200. And similarly, we're talking with Northern about a Newton Heath train care open day for Rail 200 with a couple of our locos in steam there. But that seems to be very much, the approach seems to be left to us to get on and organise that, rather than keeping you in any loop on it. So
and that's right. And that's right. It's a partnership-led campaign. Northern sit in our marketing and comms group, and it very much is down to partners being able to make use Railway 200 as a moment for their own purposes, really, just benefiting from having it under a sort of unified brand in that respect, and sort of give it some profile. Who did the bid come from, so I can just absolutely check it's in the mix, please?
The bid came in from our commercial director, Mark Hill.
And then what was the name for which railway was it? Just again, so I can take it exactly.
East Lancashire Railway, Bury.
Railway. And it came from Mark
Hill.
Mark Hill. Okay, I'll take that away and double check that's in the mix for you, Keith. Is that okay?
That's fine. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Thanks, Keith. There's something in the chat there, Emma, just around using the logo from Katie. I think I know the answer. We can use the logo on our own promotional material now, can't we, going forward? That's all signed off and everything.
Yeah, if it's for non-commercial purposes, it's a partner logo that you are free to use. It's there to download on the website, so that's not a problem at all. And the guidelines are just there to help you with how to use it, the sizing. One thing I'll say is if you're using it really small, that's when there's some rules around the tagline, because the tagline gets too small. So just make sure that you've had a quick look at those guidelines. That's fine. Just to come back, Keith, on a few of the other things, we have, there's two things. One about grants. I've been on Railway 200 from the outset, and there's never been a grant. I don't know why or how that's there. We've never had that as part of what we can do. We're an ALB, we're funded by taxpayers' money, and it's not something that we are able to offer or even do. So I don't quite know how that rumour started or who said what, but I've been here from the beginning, and that's never something that unfortunately we have the ability to offer.
I think it's our
And
community
then
rail officers who our community rail officers, both Stockport based, said that they had attended a community rail network meeting and that indication being given. And some of our other station adopters and community rail people seem to also think that was the case. And this is right at the early days. I just think it needs to be clearly stated that there is no grant money available. So there's not much point in people working on things thinking they might get a grant towards something. I mean, the simple thing, for example, your merchandise, I think we as the community rail partnership can purchase some stuff and then give that to our station adopters and station groups. But I think that needs to be clarified in terms of expectation. I did a community rail meeting and was handful of friends were certainly looking at an event expecting to get grant aid for that only last week. So I do think you need to put something out which makes that clear that people are on their own and to work through their own CRPs on it.
If I can just come in there, Keith, a bit like Emma, I've been around from the start from a community rail network perspective, and I think it's always been really clear that there's no funding attached to this programme. I think people thought there was, but that's always been clear from community rail network. We've never put anything out that should in any way indicate funding's available, because Emma from the outset has been very clear and upfront. We've talked about that at the very beginning of this call before others came on, that there's never been any funding attached to it. So I don't know where that rumour or myth has come from, but it's certainly not come from community rail network. I can say that categorically, because we've been very, very clear that there's no funding attached to this. And I think it's, in some ways, that's actually a plus, because it enables people to do exactly what they want in terms of how they celebrate and get involved in the programme. And I think that's one of the almost a plus side of it, in terms it gives that freedom that people can celebrate in whatever way they feel is fit for their organisation throughout the year. But certainly from a community rail network, I've always tried to be I have been very clear that there is no money attached to this at all, because I think Emma was up from day one.
I don't know, Hoggy, that's fine. I just think people don't understand that. I think even now there is some expectation from certainly two of our station groups that they are expecting something. So I just think you need to get that message out much clearer.
I'll get out again, but you know, in terms of I'll put something maybe in the next newsletter and just be very clear, but and make sure all our team at CRN are, you know, they are all clear, but to reinforce that when they're out and about talking, because that has been the message from day one, that there's no funding with this. So but thanks for that, Keith.
And then the other point you raised, Keith, about the whistle blowing, that's something that I've been made aware of through our Heritage Delivery Group. I don't know if anyone from East Lancashire Railway sits on our Heritage Delivery Group that's chaired by Steve Oates once a month.
I do, and Mark does.
Okay.
Yes, we're both involved in that group. In that group.
Well, that's kind of where we host that session for those conversations to happen. And if that's something all the Heritage Railways want to come together and do, that's great. But that's not something I think Steve's really the person to ask about what the definitive plan is on that. And I was going to invite you to those forums if you weren't already in them, but you're in them, which is great. So yeah, just ask those questions of Steve. He's best placed to answer you on that one.
Yep, that's fine.
Thank you. I think my email's in the chat anyway. So Keith, if there's anything else you need or you want to have a direct line to me, please do drop me an email. That's absolutely fine.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Any other questions coming in, or anyone want to share what early plans you might have or big plans you might have in place? Felicity?
Hiya. So Emma, I'm on the Bishop Line, which is part of the Stockton Darlington Railway. So I'm already hooked in with a lot of the things that's going to be happening to do with the festival. But throughout probably the end of this year and all the way through 2025, we're going to have several different types of activities. And it's just really a sounding board to see what kind of activities you want to be able to include in your comms, because we'll have some things which won't be public activities in terms of we won't be inviting anybody to attend will be specifically targeting schools. So we can tell you about those, but we don't really want to be putting it out as an invitation for anybody to attend.
Yeah.
But then we'll be doing general things like marketing campaigns, tourism campaigns, sharing of projects that we've already done. Like we did a project called Storylines, where we had artists who travelled along the train line from Bishop Auckland to Saltburn. So that's part of the original Stockton to Darlington Railway, collecting their stories and their memories, and we've made some films out of them. So that's reflecting on the past and also looking at people who currently travel on the line. So those films they're ready to be shared whenever, and we're going to be pushing them out through social media posts all the way through next year. So there's different types of elements of projects that we're going to be activating next year. So it's really just to find out what kind of things you want to be able to share in your comms.
Yeah, no, I think like you said, I think it was more about if there's sort of a specific event that's more sort of public that could be available. But I think in terms of if you've got comms plans and you've got an idea of the types of things you'll be doing next year, having some visibility of that helps my comms team know when some other things are hitting. So we know that we'll make sure that we amplify your, what by the sounds of it, wonderful storylines thing, because we can then use that and put a little message on that is a great thing to do. So we can plot that into our plan. So I think that would be useful. And indeed, if any of that content you think is shareable with us, that we could repurpose, edit some stuff out and repurpose it. I don't know if that's appropriate, but that would be really really great.
Yeah, I think that would be fantastic if you could do that. I'll talk to our project manager on that, and he I'm sure will say yes, please do share it, because they're all wonderful stories. And in terms of the rail education, we're doing these 2 rail education events, one for secondary and one for primary, which, as I say, they're not open to anybody to attend, but they're a really great story about increasing rail safety in local children and also bringing in the careers aspect as well. So those are maybe things that you might want to share after they've happened.
Exactly. Yes, if we have your sort of drumbeat of comms and thing, then we can layer it in that way. So we can sort of pull it forward in our storytelling and plan for the year. That'd be great, Felicity.
Cool, thank you.
Any other questions from anyone?
I think there's something in the chat about from Kerry. I've had contact with Mott MacDonald. I know that I know they're linked into the museum. I know they've got various different stories. I didn't know if there was a specific just flagging that for awareness, or there's something more I needed to know.
Thanks, Emma. Yeah, it was literally just for awareness, and it's just really great to hear about all the other activity going on. So I'm here just as a listening point at the moment for our division.
Yeah, no, that's great. No, thanks for sharing.
No other questions for Emma? We will share Emma's presentation with everyone. But is there anything else you want from us, Emma?
Not really, just again, get in touch if you've got the sort of content, really. That's sort of the biggest ask for us. If there's anything you want to, on reflection, put forward to mention within the 19th announcement, that would be great. And just be great to come back and speak to you all again soon. And just to say that December isn't a long way off.
No.
And just thanks for your support.
Yeah, no, thanks for your time, Emma. We do appreciate it, and we look forward to welcoming you again. And those regular updates are really good for us in terms of us being able to tap into the resources and the branding, and to start, as you say, banging that drum of comms that you can then help amplify it, and vice versa. I think that's really important as we move forward. And certainly at Community Rail Network, we'll be putting together what our activities are going to look like. So we will share that and test that with members and talk to you about that as well, Emma. So thank you, everyone, for attending. It's always really good when we put these out, because we always get a really good attendance. And I think that shows just how interested people are, Emma, that we're really keen to get behind it. And that open dialogue is really, really welcome. So thank you to everyone.